Hey everyone, welcome back to Pips-N-Chits. Today I will be doing another unboxing video, and this one is a complete surprise for me when I got this from UPS about a week ago. It is the 1-4 player, tile-laying, dungeon-crawling game that promises to have a lot of chapter narrative in which your Lovecraftian nightmares cross over to your steampunk fantasies. This is Machina Arcana, designed and self-published by, and I'm sorry if I butcher this, Juraj Bilich and Adreama Games. As of my recording today, it is scoring 7.6 out of 10 on Board Game Geek with a complexity rating of 3.15 out of 5, which makes it a little bit meatier and probably for intermediate board gamers. It's recommended for ages 14 and up, probably due to some of the dark themes and graphic contents, and claims to run anywhere from 30 to 240 minutes. Anyway, there's about just over 6,700 backers for this edition, and when I say edition, it appears that this is a revamped or a reworked edition from the original posted Kickstarter campaign back in 2014. So I opted for the premium edition, which was an extra $25, and it's supposed to include 2 additional expansions. One of those is the Recurrence expansion, and number 2 is the Geometry of the Void expansion. And the premium edition is also supposed to include 4 additional explorers. The base core game comes with 8, but this should have 12 in it. There's a couple more double-sided tiles. Apparently there's 33 more item cards and an additional 15 explore and 15 horror event cards in here as well. Another cool thing I like about this game is one of the features is, even though you might play the same scenarios over and over again, the way that you draw the monsters out and the way that you do the tiles, no 2 games are ever going to be exactly the same. So when I opened up the box, it was just this core box right here. So as far as the Kickstarter stuff goes, I want to point out something. I'm going to turn this over here. Apparently, according to the SKU down here at the bottom, if it ends in 334, you have the premium version. If it doesn't end in the 6334, you have the core version. So we'll both find out together. I'm hoping they got it right when they did the packing, but this is supposed to include those extra expansion chapters and figures that weren't in the core game. Let's go ahead and just read the copy together here. It says, have you ever been frightened into paradise? It says, in Machina Arcana, players take the role of explorers thrown into dreadful halls, scratching for survival and progressing through the chapters from one of many horror stories. Even if they manage to stay alive until the end of the story, they will face a special mini-game at the finale of each scenario. And I believe in the core game now there's 5 scenarios, including the 2, not including, so the 2 expansions would bring this up, hopefully up to 7, possibly more. The unique environment, interactive inventory, combat mechanics, and tactical diversity are all enveloped in an integral storytelling experience that provides both total immersion in the world and full of replay value. But beware, a horde of unique and terrifying monsters are bent on destroying your party. If that isn't enough, horror itself disrupts and hinders any remaining hope in these comfortable chambers. So again, down here, players 1-4, like I said, the Kickstarter has an ability to unlock a 5th player, 30 to 240 minutes, ages 14 and up, list of box contents. And I already read this to myself once, but I noticed that this must just be for the core box because it doesn't have, talk about any of the expansions. So let's go ahead and just open this up now, and we'll go from there. So taking the cellophane off. about that. All right, let's lay this down. It's a very heavy box, I will tell you that. So I'm kind of hoping there's a lot of cardboard in here and those expansions. So first thing we have here is Flippable Explorers. It looks, maybe this is an errata sheet. Oh no, it says Recurrence and Geometry of the Void. So 12 chapters, 8 monsters, 4 explorers, additional stands, events, doors, tokens, items, 3 double-sided tiles. I believe this is all the expansion material. So that's nice. I'm not going to read all that on the back. It says Game Manual, version 2.0. Looks like we have a quick reference sheet on the back talking about, oh, this is nice. It's got pages that if we have to ever read stuff on attributes, I assume that's go to page 12. Game setup, page 10. Item types, page 19. We have map elements, page 17 and 18. So how many pages is this all together? This is 31 pages. And nice color, kind of a glossy finish. Sorry if there's a glare. We have our box contents, scenario 1, 2, and 3. Component overviews, talking about the different maps, or at least the tiles and the cards. Game setup here, showing the player area. Gameplay, choosing a scenario over here. There's a variant for a shorter game, a variant for an easier game. Spawning monsters, how to do that, the different phases. We have an explorer phase, spawn phase, monster phase, horror phase. Talking about individual units. Really nice artwork in here. Again, this is Lovecraft, so we're thinking Cthulhu and all the old ones and all the mythos, and you marry that with a bunch of steampunk, Victorian steampunk stuff. I'm digging this. Extra map tiles here. Let's see, talking about the different item types, chapters. Well, you get the idea there. I won't, we'll just go ahead and move on. Oop, looks like we have a punch board, and not quite sure why, but it looks like some things might have already been punched out or might have fallen out. Hopefully they're in the box. But we have double-sided punch board here, lots of tokens. Some runes, it looks like. Looks like, I'm guessing, health markers down here, but they're just popping off. So I'm going to set that aside. Okay, I'll open this up in a second here. Oops, I just dropped the token, so hang on a second. I'll pick that up off the floor. All right, we have our player boards here, and these are really nice. There's 4 of them. Nice recessed, kind of cool artwork, kind of looks like Cthulhu on the back side. But we have something, I imagine our card fits in there for our Explorer. We have different tracks, essence. Not quite sure what the cog is, but I imagine health, maybe, I don't know what that is. So we have 4 different Explorer boards. That's very nice. We have a bag, silk screen bag with Cthulhu on the front of it there. We have some plastic standees. As you can see, we have no figures. We have some really nice dice. These are engraved dice. We have black and white 6-sided dice, 1 yellow, and it looks like we have 1 10-sided dice. They feel engraved. Really nice and clean cut design on the dice. It's got that little Victorian aspect to it. And just kind of looking, we have some blank faces. We have 1s, 2s, and 3s, and kind of repeating patterns. So, oh, we have black standees. Maybe these are for the monsters. Maybe the white is for explorers and black is something else. Not sure. But bag of black explorer or standees. We have some nice wooden tokens. Imagine that those fit in these boards right here. We have one with the cog, kind of a tannish color or an olive green. We have a dark brown that's got, you know, that lightning bolt on it. And we have black ones as well that have a symbol on it, but they don't match this. So I'm not quite sure what those ones are, but we have some wooden markers. All right. We have, I don't want to spoil anything here, but I imagine that this, let me get a razor blade. I imagine that this is part of the scenarios right here. Just get that off. Really nice artwork, that's for sure. Wow, look at that. Sorry about the glare there. Try to put it off to a little bit of an angle. Wow, just the art itself is just phenomenal. That's pretty scary stuff right there. I could see why it's probably for ages 14 and up. Give you nightmares. Lots of different cards in here. I imagine that these are the actual different scenarios. Oop. Got a big stack of them here. Look at that. That's quite a few different cards there. So I'll put that aside. And what do we have here? We have Spawn of Cthulhu, and it looks like these might be our Explorer cards and our Monster cards. So let me cut that open. Take this cellophane off. Yeah, definitely monsters, all their different stats, the type of dice that they're going to roll, more stats down here. Just really pretty cards, really spent a lot of time on the art here. And since I don't have the first game, I haven't seen it, I don't know if this is updated art or not, but again, you could see that on the change log if you go visit the campaign page on Kickstarter. And I'm assuming here is our explorers. And yes, this is an expansion explorer as far as I know. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, well, they're probably mixed in here, but it looks like, well, there's a couple more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Plus, I know this is expansion character. So here's our different explorers. I imagine the rest are also mixed in here as well. Really nice backs on these. Let's see. Let's go through. Yep, this must be another explorer right here. John Abigail. He's a crafter. I imagine all these ones here are our monster ones, and everything else is our explorer. Special are people that we play the game with. So we'll put that aside and we'll sort that out later. We have a bunch of different decks here. There's 1, 2, some different size decks here. I don't know if you want me to open all these up. Imagine these are kind of like treasures or loot that you get or discover. Let's see what happens here. Well, really nice back on them. Don't know what size cards these are. These aren't gonna... I have to check out the size of these cards. They're a little bit odd compared to regular standard size playing cards, and they're definitely a different size than the American mini cards, so I don't know how easy these would be to sleeve or not. We have a bunch of different things there. I guess these are our items. Each have the name of it, a really nice picture, some symbology on here, icons on here. Very nice. Different colors. Got a pretty nice finish to it. I just really like the artwork. It really immerses you in that Victorian flair and deco. Look at that helmet. The memory mask. We have a scryer mask. Look at the top 2 cards of any one item deck and reorder them. It looks like we have some kind of armor or leg. When you explore a new map tile, restore 6 stamina. So got a bunch of different cards there. I imagine these are more of the same. More item cards. So let's cut this open. And oh, bunch of different weapons here. We have a blood boost gun. When you hit, increase your attack rolls by 1 this round, maximum of 2. Imagine that these tell you what dice you're rolling. A black dice and 1 white dice. Crossbow, hunting crossbow. We have something for ranged attacks. I imagine there's going to be some with melee attacks in here as well. We have revolvers. Here's an axe. Attack 3, increase your attack rolls by 1 this round. Really neat stuff. Okay, let's move on to one of the other ones here. Then I'll speed it up a little bit. You probably want to see that big cardboard stash right there, some of those tiles. I don't blame you. Oops. Okay. Yeah, just more item cards here, looks like. I'm sure the different categories of item cards or loot and treasure you can find. Won't go through all those. We'll just go ahead and set those aside for right now. Let's take a look at what these decks are. I'm not quite sure. These ones are now a different size. These look more like the Euro mini cards. These are probably more standard sleeves that you can find. Oop. Really nice back, different symbols on the back. Imagine these are all different decks. One's probably going to be the horde deck, as opposed to one's going to be the event deck. Yeah, a bunch of text in here. I don't want to spoil anything and read it, but looks like we have flavor text here and some kind of effect down at the bottom half of the cards. Ton of those. I imagine it's just going to be more of the same in those 2 decks as well. So we'll go ahead and move that off to the side, and we'll get right into this boards here, or this. So let's cut this open. Oh, my blade needs to be changed, I think. I use that blade a lot for cutting or doing my models, so it's probably the blade needs to be changed. Okay, got a little silica thing to absorb some moisture. We have our play board. This is for our scenario card. I believe you start the cards up here and you kind of reveal them chapter by chapter as the scenario goes down. You read the text on one side and you flip it over and you have a picture on one and text on the other. We have 2 tracks, 1 through 9, 1 through 9 up here. This is our monster track, I think, when they spawn. And this is our horror track, I believe. We have our level of monsters. There's 4 level of monsters. Not quite sure what this one is. Maybe the boss? Not sure. And then we have something up here. I think I saw something online. I read about this. When this track goes up and hits this arrow at the end, then the monsters go from a level 1 to the level 2 monsters. And then when it gets there again, then you start bringing out the level 3 monsters. Dual-sided, nice thick cardboard there. Let's get this out of the way. All right, here's some more punch boards here. So we have more health tokens here. I imagine that these are doors. Oh, that's probably what those standees are then. Those black ones are probably for the doors, where the white ones are for the characters. So we have our starting characters up here. We have a bunch of monsters here. Nice. I like that they're really got a nice color to them. They're double-sided, so depending on where you're sitting on the board, you're going to see your enemies from any direction there. More of the same. We've got 4 more characters up here. More monsters, more doors, more tokens, more of the same. This might be the expansion right here. So we have a bunch more. So there was 12. So that was 8 characters plus 4 more. That would be 12, 13. So there might be 14 explorers actually. More doors. We have some blank ones here. Maybe you can make your own, or maybe they were just fillers there. But again, double-sided, pretty nice. Oops, but they're coming out. They're falling out of this thing really easy. So that might make it really easy to do punch outs. All right, here are the boards. I don't want to tease you too bad. Double-sided boards here. There's some iconography on them, but really nice and thick here. Beautiful artwork on here. Very thematic, if you will, or I guess get you in the mood for Lovecraft. Bunch of different colors. Looks like some narrow walkways and some pits. Or maybe that's scaffolding, things that you can't cross. Looks like we have some definitely dividers here, so maybe these are like walls within. Really nice. We have a staircase, so looks like maybe we have two floors, a first floor and a second floor. A little bridge going across. Set those aside. Oops, there's some glare from my lights here, so I'll just whip through the rest of these really quick. Wow, the colors are just really nice. I really like this palette. While it's muted, the colors are still kind of has that dark flavor to it. Very, very spooky. Who knows? Even if you didn't play this game, you might be able to use these tiles for a different game that you're playing, just because they look so cool. Let's see what we have here. We have different points of interest on here. I imagine that those all mean something. Ooh, and what do we have here? So horror in the ice, endgame. Oh, we have 3 endgame tiles. You know what? I don't want to turn these over. These might be secret tiles. The beast endgame, statue of despair endgame, and horror in the ice endgame. So you know what? I don't want to turn those over because I don't want to spoil them for myself. So that looks like those might be end scenario tiles right there. And you'd reveal them, obviously, at the end of the scenario. So with that being said, that looks like that's Arcanum, or a Machina Arcana. Again, a 1-4 player game. I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. I know it sounded a little rushed, but hey, thanks for sticking around for 25 minutes and watching this whole thing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave me a comment in the section below, and come back and watch other unboxing videos and hopefully some playthrough videos really soon. So again, thanks for watching Pips-N-Chits.